Hello everyone, we've got another Unearthed Arcana.
We decided to actually do a bonus Dungeon Master's Guide UA.
Because the OGL situation did delay our schedule a little bit. It's been made very clear to the design team that we must, can I talk about this? And you know what? This Unearthed Arcana, the One D&D Bastion system for home bases and strongholds, was something that the designers teased very early on in the playtest, and it had me really excited. So we're gonna take a look because I'm Bob. This is where we learn how to have more fun playing RPGs together. But before we even take a look at this One D&D Bastion playtest PDF, because I really haven't looked at them yet, we're gonna check out the 2014 5e, the 5e Dungeon Master's Guide rules for Strongholds. Yes, it's been a while since I've used them, but I know this book has some simple guidelines and tables, which is what I like. So I think it makes sense to start with this original simple version and think about what we would hope to see in the One D&D version before we check that out. Now, because this is the 2014 DMG, the first challenge is finding what we're looking for. Let's record that, and let's record that. So I did actually find this like a couple minutes ago before I started recording, but I swear I open up to the table of contents here, table of handbook, yeah. My mind goes to, okay, maybe running the game, Dungeon Master Workshop, but there's clearly nothing in either of these sections that actually seem to point to helping your party build and maintain a stronghold of any kind. The only other thing that really caught my eye was other rewards in chapter 7, which is a treasure chapter. Starts out with supernatural gifts. Not exactly what we're looking for. Wait, supernatural gifs? And then, yeah, next page, strongholds. Okay, strong, but, yeah, it's just another like 2 little paragraphs about how your characters might be given a stronghold. Oh, see chapter 6 for more information on strongholds and maintenance. Yeah, recurring expenses. So we can immediately see, or really this is a bit of foreshadowing, that the designers saw strongholds kind of merely as a way to drain gold in 5e, and we know this is a problem. People have complained about this for a long time. Well, look no further than the maintenance costs of various buildings, basically. Such as an abbey, 20 gold per day. And immediately I'm thrown off here because when I hear an abbey, I think of like monks, like kind of like a monastery, as run by an abbot. So I'm like 20 gold per day for these guys to be what? Copying books, brewing ale, wine? What do monks do? Pray? So I don't really know what's going on in an abbey, and right away, well, there's no description for any of these. It does just assume that dumb me knows what an abbey is, and there was your first mistake. But anyway, we have a farm, a guild hall in a town or city, a noble estate, which, by the way, was the only other thing that comes to mind when I hear abbey, because I'm like, oh yeah, there's that old show. A palace or large castle at a whopping 400 gold per day is what that costs to maintain. A shop, 2 gold per day, and little red flag here, we'll come back to that in a second. At first, just looking at this, that list seems fine. A lot of options. If anything, I would say we could probably condense some of these. Like, do we really need temple large and temple small? Just having one shop line item seems like a really big generalization. But what caught my eye here, because in my first campaign, my players, I was one of the players in my first campaign, we started our own tavern. And our tavern made money. And it says right here, if the property earns money that can offset maintenance costs, that is taken into account in the table. And therefore, every one of these buildings is a net loss. You're just losing money on your shop, like your business just isn't gonna work out. And this seems troublesome, but then, okay, paragraph beneath that, an adventurer-owned business can earn enough money to cover its own maintenance costs. So a little contradictory, but whatever, this is what I want to see. So we flip over to downtime activities, and at first, immediately I noticed building a stronghold, which by the way, an abbey, whatever that is, cost 50,000 gold to build? Wow. And a large castle costs 500,000 gold pieces and takes 1,200 days to build. And I know this is a distraction from our business discussion. Work can continue while the character is away, but each day the character is away adds 3 days to the construction time. So apparently your character is just a master foreman and architect. And remember, like, this is way before we had artificers in the game. What is your druid or your ranger or your rogue gonna know about building an abbey when I don't even know what an abbey is? So when we get to running a business, finally, we have a D100 table. The results range from you must pay 1.5 times the business maintenance cost for each of the days. So if your character's there, you could actually screw things up and owe more money. The maximum being earning a profit of 3d10 times 5 gold pieces. And the farm costs per day are 5 silver pieces. So what the heck are you doing to suddenly make a profit of somewhere between 15 gold, not silver, gold, and 150 gold pieces? Did your workers on this farm just literally dig up a treasure chest by accident? So what it seems like we need are very short, like just give me a sentence about what an abbey is. It would be cool to have also a very short description of like here's a benefit that you can earn from having this building. But what I'd also like, on that note, is some complications that can come up, whether it's a business, whether it's a building you own in a state of some kind, and definitely our profits need to be scaled differently for something like a farm where we're working on silver piece, economy versus the large castle of hundreds of gold pieces of economy. And then overall, just put it in a section of the book that's easy to spot, makes sense, and is all together. So even in my kind of rules light, minimalist perspective, this just leaves a little bit to be desired. Like if I want to build specifically a wizard tower, give me a little table for like weird wizard assistants that I can hire. Give me a table of potions that I can brew with the ingredients I need and how much time required to do so. That would make this so much more flavorful, so much more fun, and I kind of expect to see something like that in the new version. And since I heard you like towers, you're gonna wanna check out this awesome collapsible dice tower, rolling tray, and dice storage case from Fire and Ash. The modular design means if you don't typically use a dice tower, for example, you could swap it out to make room for minis, cards, or more dice. I really love the art on this rolling tray, but the cover is epic and everything snaps together magnetically, and you can even save 10% by backing this on Kickstarter in the first 48 hours on October 25th or 26th. Just be sure to use the link below so they know who sent you. Mike needs to be in frame at least a little because I am a gamer. That face from Jeremy Crawford, dude. I hope that doesn't say it all. Here we go. Still zoomed in too much. Bastions and cantrips. Wow, yeah, this is just the first One D&D playtest I've taken seriously in a while. And you know what, this is too close. Microphone can back up. The bulk of this article introduces a new subsystem for Bastion and cantrips, a section at the end of this article. The whole thing I'm looking at here is only 23 pages. Not bad. Obviously, a major magnitudes of increase compared to probably the 2 pages of full content that we had in the Dungeon Master's Guide. And this is a good time to mention, because I know somebody will say in the comments, what about Matt Colville's Strongholds and Followers? That's like a 300 plus page book, I think, about this stuff. And maybe not all about this stuff. Let's say even if there's 100 pages dedicated to Strongholds, that is way more than my rules light brain wants. So even if it's really well done, there's just too much to dig through there for what I'm looking for. And the 20 pages in here might even be a little much. So we'll find out. Defining a bastion, a location that belongs to a player character, a home, stronghold, and a place of power that the character nurtures and develops over the course of a campaign. Doesn't mention a place of business anywhere, so we might just be skipping that thing entirely. It's up to the DM whether or not bastions are available in the campaign. That's really good. Characters acquire their bastions when they reach level 5. Already that's a little too gamified. You just get it. Like who, where does it come from? Okay, yeah, character might inherit or receive a parcel of land. It should just say at least level 5, but it's like, it's so weird that they say you just get it at level 5, because that means any player who reads this, they're gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to level up and then we're gonna get that Bastion. Like, no, it's already, yeah, I just don't love that. Much like a multi-class should have story behind why you're doing it, shape, style, and function are up to the player to determine. Yeah, sure, wizard might build a tower, cleric might establish a shrine. Not every character needs to have one, of course. Bastion turns. So now we're already scaling back into this domain level of play, right? As time passes in a campaign, characters take Bastion turns to reflect the activity occurring in their Bastion. Bastion turn occurs every 7 days of in-game time, though the DM can alter the frequency of Bastion turns, and there's advice for doing so. That's nice. I like how it immediately says this is a cool thing to do during a long journey, because yeah, like travel can get a little repetitive, a little boring, and then yeah, we'll do a Bastion turn and what's going on in everybody's little home bases back in town. Aim for about 6 to 8 Bastion turns per level. Yeah, already getting more layers onto the prescriptiveness of tying it to character level. I don't love this. But let's try to keep an open mind. I don't want to get too negative too quick. Okay, Bastion Points. Nice. That seems cool. A little bit of a meta currency for building up how cool our Bastion can be. Each special facility description indicates a number of points the facility generates when it completes an order. Okay, similar to, I guess, what I asked, like if that wizard is brewing potions or having people at their tower, assistants at their tower, brew potions. Creating so many potions might generate a certain number of Bastion points. Characters can use money to influence the rate at which facilities generate Bastion points. So another way to spend gold, all right? Acquiring magic items. Each time a character gains a level, they can spend, like some more on this level thing, spend their Bastion points to acquire a single magic item. So again, now it's like, ooh, I just get a magic item when I level up. I think magic items should be discovered. You know, like discovering a magic item, maybe inside of a dungeon, maybe defended by a dragon. That could be fun. Not just churned out by your Bastion. Even though I'm talking about wizards making potions and stuff, I still think that's like part of the story. Where do those ingredients come from? Who's actually, like, who are these assistants who are making it? I guess I just kind of want to skip to, like, what are the kinds of Bastions? Bastion map. A player is encouraged to create a floor pan. Oh, maybe they're just all fully customized? It's got a description for a closet. And I didn't get a description for an abbey. Each 5-foot square of defensive wall takes 10 days to build and costs 250 gold pieces. So we're not spending Bastion points, but gold can also influence the rate at which we generate Bastion points. Basic facilities. Okay, because remember, it's our facilities that generate Bastion points, but basic facilities don't generate Bastion points. They can inspire meaningful role-playing opportunities and enhance a Bastion's verisimilitude. Yeah, like the dining room. You could have some cool scenes in a Bastion dining room. You know, if you're really into everything Baldur's Gate 3 has to offer, maybe the bedroom costs 500 gold pieces and 20 days. That's a little weird, right? 500 gold pieces sounds like the whole wealth of a village, but you get one cramped bedroom. All right, now we got some special facilities. These can't be bought. A character gains them through level advancement. Okay, so I guess I just need to back off about like the level stuff, because clearly this Bastion system is like inextricably tied to your character's level. Character's Bastion initially has 2 special facilities of the character's choice. Gain 2 at level 9 and 1 at 13, another at 17. I would just say, like, don't have more than this, because absolutely you would want to put a limit on this stuff if you're generating these points that can generate magic items or whatever. But I feel like it's weird to say, yeah, you just get this. Like, this just happens to your Bastion when you level up. And I mean, I guess at a bare minimum, from the desire of the player. What if they don't want these other facilities? Well, you get your 2 facilities at level 9. All right, Jeremy. Okay. Special facility requires a certain amount of space, of course. Comes with hirelings. That makes sense for it to like automatically come with that, I guess. So you don't have to go through the trouble of like interviewing people in town. Orders are as follows: craft, empower, harvest. That sounds like its own game. D&D Bastions. Craft, empower, harvest. Oh, there's more. Maintain, recruit, research, trade. So some special facilities include an arcane study, an armory, a barracks, a garden, a library. I mean, you can see the whole list here. A scriptorium. And there's a whole lot more. Teleportation circle, theater, trophy room. A guild hall is just a facility in your bastion? Wow. And here we go, a little description for each one. Okay, so we'll just look at a couple of these. Like at level 5, you can get an arcane study. Prerequisite, the ability to use an arcane focus. Okay, so pretty much you gotta have a spellcasting class. The space is roomy, naturally, which I think it implies its cost. Yeah, so without looking into the finer details, it's not super clear, like, do I get these first 2 special facilities at level 5 for free, or do I have to spend 1,000 gold each on them? And you can order the arcane study to craft. You commission the facilities hireling to craft an arcane focus. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. The arcane focus remains in your bastion until you claim it or you have sold it for 10 gold pieces. I like that. Arcane focus, simple, not game-breaking item. Every character already has one, which is a little bit of a bummer. Like, it'd be cool if it was something you want to have and don't just automatically get at level 1. And actually, yeah, like, who's buying all these arcane foci? Unless your bastion is pretty near a mage college or something. Aha! You can also use the study to cast Identify. I really like that. And that's it. Okay, so kind of simple for the arcane study. What do we have? An archive. You don't get that till level 13, which no one plays, so I'm not even going to worry about it. How about an armory at level 5? No prereqs. It's roomy. You have 1 hireling to maintain it, and you can trade from here. You commission the facility's hireling to stock the armory with armor, shields, weapons, and ammunition. This equipment costs you 100 gold pieces, plus an extra 100 for each bastion defender in your bastion. When your armory is stocked, your bastion defenders are harder to kill. When any event causes you to roll dice to determine if your bastion loses 1 or more of its defenders, see bastion events. Okay, I want to see bastion events. Just quickly looking at some of the other ones, we have a barracks, a demi-plane, a gaming hall. We're all just gamers here, so yeah. A garden. I love that. Poison garden. It's like you can literally just have a thieves guild in your bastion. So you can assign thieves to infiltrate a location within 50 miles of your bastion and steal a non-magical object from it. Huh. So you're just like creating these other parties of thieves to go do heists. A pub. Why do you have to be level 13 to have a pub? Come on. And yeah, I guess to zoom out for a second here, like this clearly took a huge divergence from this. From a Serac, where I really thought we would just have like, okay, fort, tower, small castle, large castle, here's a description for each of these, here's how much it costs to maintain, here's how much it costs to build. Like you could put all that in one table instead of those couple tables, and the description includes a little benefit for each one, but maybe also a little complication that can happen at each one of these. Roll, like the bastion turns idea, still good. When you roll that bastion turn, maybe your complication comes up, maybe the benefit comes up. And real quick here, I got inspired and published my own like 12-page rule set on Patreon with 4 bases and 40 businesses, each one providing character benefits, and each one of the 4 bases have special features for one of D&D's 4 class groups. Plus tables of pre-made hirelings and sample location maps. Not doing a deep dive here because you should go support this video's awesome sponsor, but I'll make a video about it eventually because I do love how these bases and businesses came out. Alright, but let's, so we're on page 19 now as we reach the end of these special facilities, and we get to the fall of a bastion. If a character issues no orders to their bastion for a number of consecutive bastion turns equal to the character's level, so if you're level 5, you gotta issue an order every 35 days. The hirelings will abandon the bastion and the site is eventually looted. So that's kind of fun. I like that you actually do have to maintain it. Like it really becomes part of the game that they have to take seriously. Bastion events. Here we go. At the end of any bastion turn, the DM rolls once on the bastion events table. If an event occurs, the DM reads the event aloud to the player whose character controls that bastion. The event is resolved immediately, with the player and DM working together to expand story details as needed. That's cool. This is very like improvisational. First half of the results, nothing happens. 10. An attack. A hostile force attacks your bastion, but is defeated. Okay. Roll 66. For each die that rolls a 1, one Bastion Defender dies. I don't even know who these Bastion Defenders are, and I'm already feeling for them, man. Oh, Criminal Hireling. One of your Bastion's hirelings has a criminal past that comes to light when officials or bounty hunters visit your Bastion with a warrant for their arrest. You can retain them by paying a bribe. Otherwise, the hireling is arrested and taken away. That is rich with some story. Good stuff there. And each one of these have a little description. Okay, so Bastion events, super cool. So do let me know what you think about all this. Are you liking the direction these Bastions are going? Should I have just looked at Strongholds and Followers instead? But if you like this video, found it informative, like a little flip through of this One D&D stuff every once in a while, please do give the video a thumbs up so I know, or a thumbs down so I know. And then whether or not you're into that sort of thing, you should probably check out this video on your screen about another One D&D change that I'm really not too sure about. And consider joining Patreon, where you can get new 5e resources every month and support the channel in an awesome and direct way. So thank you for your support, and keep building.